Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Edona and This is Kianna Smith. We are so excited to start the She Always On podcast. This is going to be all about X's and O's, breakdowns, talking about the hottest team, best players out there. So we're really excited to get into it. But let's start off first, Kianna. Let's get right into it. What stood out to you this week from all the teams that have played in the W so far?
This week, honestly, I have loved watching the Phoenix Mercury. They play with a ton of energy. It's a completely different team than last year. And you can tell that everyone is just really bought into what Coach Tibbetts, his philosophies, and, what he's trying to get out of them.
And I know me and you have talked about this a little bit. They're out. Phoenix is without Brittany Griner. Obviously, this team looks a little bit different without that size. How do you think they're going to kind of navigate that and adjust?
Yeah, I mean, with Phoenix out, they have to start 4 guards. Offensively, Coach Tibbetts has said he wants them to shoot 40 threes a game, which is crazy.
That's crazy. That is a lot of threes.
It's truly a shooter's dream. I would have loved to have been in that offense. And when you watch them play, it's super obvious. They come down, shoot threes off transition, off the dribble, off the catch. They'll just stare right in your face, knock it down. It's a lot of fun to watch. But defensively, I think what helps them is that they have a lot of length at the guard spot. They're able to switch guard to guard, and even with the post, they're able to switch everything and keep the ball in front of them. And not only that, I think also their energy makes up for their lack of size as well. Yeah, I mean, Natasha Cloud, her energy is contagious, and I think everybody else really just feeds off of it. The role players come in, they create extra possessions. Liz Dixon, Natasha Mack, Kiki, and all of them, they just come in, create extra possessions, and even 4 out of their 5 starters average nearly 5 rebounds a game. So they're just so much fun to watch, and that energy and length at the guard spot has really been able to help them make up for their lack of size.
And I know you mentioned Natasha Cloud, which I love her as a player. I think she is A10 fam. Yep, that's right, mid-ranger. Shout out. I have so much love for her as a player, and I think she's such a great person too. And I know she talked a little bit about when she got traded from the Mystics. She was it was a little bit upsetting. She was like, I was on vacation. I dedicated 5+ years to this organization, and then you just get traded. And obviously you played in the W, so you know how hard that can be and all those transitions. But I think she just brings such a presence about herself, like the energy, and it's contagious, and you can see it kind of seep to the rest of her teammates. And let's not forget Kalia Copper, like she balled out 37 points. Like she's just so quick and explosive. But yeah, that's what I want to say about that.
Yeah, she killed it. 37 plus point game in back to back. And I think also what helps her get a lot of shots that in the lane that she gets is just, like I said, they play 4 guards. So Asia, for example, in the Aces game that they beat them, Asia Wilson wasn't able to be in the paint and be a shot blocker like she is. She had to be out and guard Rebecca Allen, who can hit threes like crazy as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch them. Kalia Copper has been unbelievable, and I think they're going to be a shocker team, especially when they get Brittany Griner back.
Totally. I agree.
Tonight, Minnesota played Connecticut Sun, and you were there as a overtime. What did you see at the game?
Well, first off, obviously the talk around Alyssa Thomas, Napheesa Collier. I know I told you this. Like Napheesa impressed me so much. 2 player of the weeks going at it. It was a little bit of a sloppy game. I think Connecticut struggled to find offense. To find their offense and find that rhythm in the first quarter, first half. And Minnesota kind of led the entire first half. Like they jumped out to a big lead, and I think Connecticut dug themselves a little bit of a hole. And to be honest, Napheesa was picking apart the defense. Like homegirl was scoring all types of ways. She was Euro-stepping, she was spinning. She was just doing such a good job of like not predetermining her shot and just reading the defense and take what the defense gives her. And honestly, the biggest thing that really jumped out to me was Minnesota's mid-range game, right? About 16%. This is a stat that I looked up. 16.5% is part of their scoring comes from the mid-range, and that's first in the league. So that just comes to show. And as a player, when we played, like coaches kind of teach you to give up a contested 2, and when they're making those shots that you're trying to give up, you're trying to take away the drive or take away the three, you're like, damn, what do I do now?
It's demeaning. I mean, they added Courtney Williams back, and she's one of the best mid-range guards in the game. She
Leave
elevates straight over you. It's super hard to contest. So I'm not surprised that they lead the league in mid-range.
I
But
agree.
what else has impressed? What else impressed you in that game?
Well,
I know there's
honestly,
a lot.
Bree Jones, we got to talk about her
Mhm.
because obviously she came back from an Achilles injury, and we know that's not no easy comeback. Like I tore my ACL 3 times, so I know what that all I know that little history all too well, and I know you do too. She's just obviously she's still trying to find that rhythm a little bit and kind of dust off that rust, but honestly, she looked great. Like her footwork, I think the conditioning part is still coming, and she's still building that. She's still in the minutes restriction, but I know Coach Stephanie White even talked about this. She was like, I didn't realize how bad like our pick and roll defense wasn't as good until Bree Jones came back because she just does such a good job of stunting, of helping and recovering, and she creates mismatches. Last year they didn't have a true 4 or 5 on the court, so people were kind of playing out of positions. And in the game, at one point, she went on a 7-0 run by herself, and she just does a great job of getting deep positioning, and she's a true vet. So
Yeah, you mentioned that she creates mismatches not only by herself, but also her and AT playing on the floor. They're able to shift DB to the three.
yeah, and
So
DB likes to take those threes. She likes to slash. She likes to attack to the basket. So
exactly. Most threes in the league aren't as tall as DB. She gets to that mid post area, shoots right over you.
yeah,
Um, I was a victim of that in camp this past couple weeks, but
you
uh,
have a welcome to the WNBA moment.
when my first rookie season, I actually played Connecticut, and
Mm,
I was in a ball screen with DB and AT.
mm.
Came off of it, AT hedges it hard, picks my pocket, goes lays it at the other end, and then just smiles on her way back. I was so upset.
Yeah, no, that physicality is different. I feel
Oh
like.
yeah, yeah. But obviously the game went into overtime. It was
Yeah,
a what did you see? What did it come down to?
I mean, honestly, like I know I said at the beginning, Connecticut struggled and didn't look great, but they're good at closing out games, making key plays in key moments. I think, especially in that, the last obviously went into overtime, which Connecticut didn't want. Who would want that? But I think Connecticut did a good job of spreading the floor, and Alyssa Thomas being able to, she started creating more, finding her teammates, and when she came off those screens, she was finding DB in the short corners and DB hitting those fadeaway jumpers. At one point, she had a fadeaway jumper, a charge down the other end, and then another fadeaway jumper. So it was a chess match throughout the game, but I think that's really what it came down to is you can see that veteran leadership take over in DB and AT and Bree Jones. Like that's what you need, those type of players on your team.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though it might not look the smoothest, Connecticut knows how to pull out wins. And
Absolutely.
yeah. So let's shift to the other game last night. Coach Spoon back at a place that means a lot to her, New York Liberty, who was
Oh,
4-0
yeah.
coming into the game. But Chicago gave them their first loss. How were they able to do that?
Well, honestly, when I was watching that game, and I'm excited because I'll be calling their game soon, but Chicago just plays with such pace. And even though they play with pace, they also have a poise about them. So, like, I feel like a lot of times when people talk about pace, they think it's just a transition game, right? But also in the half court setting, like, they do a good job of setting good screens, making hard cuts, occupying the weak side. Like, I think those are all the little things that kind of factor into getting a good shot. Not only are they great on the defensive end and have their defense fuel their offense, but honestly, it came back to transition. Like New York Liberty wasn't getting back on defense. And then John Jones got into foul trouble, 3 fouls early into the second quarter. That hurt them, not having that presence on the inside. And Chicago doing a great job of getting their feet inside the paint, making those reads. And as soon as the defense was collapsing, they were able to kick it out for a three. And Marina Mabry, who better than her to shoot it, right? She was killing
Yeah.
it.
Honestly, I think Marina Mabry is so underrated. People don't talk about her enough. Her footwork is efficient. Well, she can score at all three levels,
Yeah,
post up, getting downhill, pull ups, step backs. She's a great piece for them. I've loved watching Marina on the Chicago Sky.
I totally agree. And another person to talk about is Angel Reese. Can we talk about her though?
Man, I mean, people really doubted her coming from college, saying
Facts.
her game
Yep.
wasn't going to translate well, but she's doing what she's always done. She's the third player in the WNBA history to grab at least 15 O boards in their first 3 games, and that's all we saw from her at LSU. But you know what I love is that she's also adding to her game. She's getting to the pinch post and looking to rip a lot more, becoming more versatile, and really developing her game, playing outside in the perimeter. And um, I think she has translated really well into the WNBA, and she's been fun to watch. Obviously, she's an exciting player and brings a lot of spice to the league, so she's been exciting.
And another thing too is what I'm really excited about her when we talk about this draft class, these rookies. I feel like this couldn't have been a better situation for her to then play for Teresa Weatherspoon, right? Because I feel like Coach Spoon is so known for developing her players, right, throughout her career. And she's just in a good system, good environment, and you can see, like you mentioned, she's not just playing it. When I feel like when she was at LSU, we watched a lot of college games. It
Right?
was more finish around the rim type of player, and now she's stepping out on that perimeter and almost playing like a guard. And I
Yeah.
love that because if you're a guard at her height and can score like that and move the way she's moving, I feel like it's going to be a no brainer as she continues to grow and get better.
Yeah. And it's fun watching these posts come into the league because in college they're double team, triple team, there's people in the paint, but now there's defensive 3 seconds in the league. They have a lot more space to be able to work. So people like her, Cam Brink are able to translate their game in a beautiful way.
I agree. And
Yeah.
speaking of like just translating, when you started in W, what do you feel like was the biggest adjustment for you?
Definitely the physicality. And then also I think the mental side of having to play with other great players. You know,
Mm,
in college, you're one or two the top best options. So you're thinking score, 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 score. But now you're playing with, NECA or,
yeah,
the greatest players in the world. And
that's the
it's
best.
not score, score, score. It's okay, let me get the ball to the MVP or,
Let me
um,
stand out of their way so they can
yep.
go to work.
And then finding other ways to impact the game other than scoring. You got to get offensive rebounds, you got to defend, you got to do all the little things. So I think that was a different adjustment for me coming in.
I totally agree. And like we've talked a lot about dynamic scores, and one of the things that in that New York Liberty and Chicago game is what killed New York Liberty was Chicago's dynamic scores at the
Yeah.
guard position. I feel like that team is so guard heavy, and Kennedy Carter, Dana Evans, Lindsay Allen just doing such a good job of breaking down the defense, getting inside the paint. Like that's one of the things where New York Liberty, as much as I think they're a great team, I think one of the areas that they struggle and continue to prove is just playing that one-on-one defense at the guard position. Because now you're forcing that second line of defense to come out, and now New York Liberty's being put in rotation, especially
Yeah.
when you don't have John Jones in the game. That's no help.
Yeah. The Chicago Sky lead the league in points in the paint.
Yeah.
53% of their points come from in the paint. So I think Chicago was able to expose the New York Liberty guards a little bit by getting downhill, getting by them. Um, and speaking of dynamic guards, we have a special guest today. So let's transition into our conversation with Dana Evans.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have a very, very special guest with us, Dana Evans, the one and only Chicago Sky Guard, having a great start off to her year, and we're super excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna
Dana,
talk that talk.
Dana, it's been a long time since we've been teammates,
Yes.
and a lot has happened. You won a WNBA championship, you signed with
Mhm.
Jordan, you danced on stage with Glorilla.
Okay.
Whoa. Crazy.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's
But
been a lot.
yeah, but I mean, as long as I've known you, you've always been super goal driven. You've set a goal and achieved it every single time. So we're curious to know what's the personal goals for this season?
The personal goals for this season, um, I wanna win. Like obviously that's always a goal, regardless if it's personal or not. But winning for sure. But I wanna be an all-star this year. I feel like you have to win to be an all-star. I feel like you have to be in the top team. So that's a big point. I wanna be top 5 in assists as well because I feel like I've always been misunderstood at the point guard. Like I feel like obviously I'm a scorer too, but I can run the point guard as well. So I want to be top five in assists. And yeah, I feel like top five in scoring as well. I feel like all the other stuff will come. Like if I'm an all star, I feel like I'll be playing my best ball and everything like that. So that's pretty much the goals.
Yeah, and obviously, speaking of all those goals, you're with Coach Spoon, who I think is such a great coach. I love her energy, her passion.
Yes.
Um, and you could just see it kind of rub off onto all of you guys when you're playing. Like you guys
Hmm.
really play for her. What is it about her offense system that you feel like allows you to flourish and what you feel like you're at your best?
Yes. I feel like just like her as a person, like she just breathes confidence in each and every one of us. Like she makes us really believe in ourselves more than we even know. Like the off the court conversations that I've had with her just makes me fully trust her and know that it's genuine, like off the court as well. So I feel like that just makes you want to go so much harder for a coach when you know they have your best interest in heart. So that alone goes a long way. But just her just letting me know like she's seen my journey, she's seen like me put in my time, so she's excited for me as well to be the starting point guard for this team and see what I can do from there. But she's been dope. Like everybody loves her, and I'm just happy to be playing for her.
Is there
It's like
anything she says specifically to you?
She's just, yeah, like she's just like she's a dog, and I feel like she has dogs on her team. Like that's just how we all are. So like she'll be like, "Go be you," like, and when she say
Mhm.
that, it's just like, all right, like
Like, yes.
don't exactly like she just tells you like, go be yourself. Like don't try to be something that you're not. I want you to be you, and just having a coach like back you up and just really believe in you, I feel like goes a long way because as professional athletes, obviously we are all really talented, but to just have that your leader just believing you even more and telling you to go run the team just, makes you feel even more confident.
For sure.
yeah, there was a lot of times I was watching your guys' game yesterday against the Liberty, and there were times where you, Lindsay Allen were at the top, and she's just like 1-4 flat, like.
Yes. Like she's one of those coaches where it's just like go be you. Like she's not gonna try to slow you down. She's not gonna try to take you out of your rhythm. Like she's not gonna try to fix something that's not broken. Like whatever's working, she's gonna continue to go with it. And another thing about her, like she points out the other team's weaknesses on the offensive end for us. So like if she know this player is not great defending, she's gonna go at you like every time. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's what make us go to.
Those are the best coaches to play for. But there's a
Yes.
lot of times that, I mean, we've seen it a ton at Louisville. You get into the lane and get to that floater and just elevate. I was
Hmm.
curious to know, like, at your size, obviously we see now you get to the 1 foot lean a lot.
Hmm.
How have you done that
Kill
so effectively? Yeah. How have you done that so effectively and efficiently? And what has developed that skill for you?
I would just say just repetition. Like how we were at Louisville. Like we always was in the gym, like just getting reps up of the shots that we're gonna get and the shots that we know we gotta make. And just as a point guard, I know the shots that I'm gonna be taking. I know where I'm gonna be taking them from. So I'm getting game like reps all the time and just making sure that it's crisp because you don't have much time in this league. Like people close out fast and they're athletic, so it's like you gotta be able to get your shot off, especially like you say, I'm a smaller guard, so me being able to elevate, I got to be going at game speed when I'm doing these type of shots in my reps.
At the point guard position, obviously, with your speed, I feel like you can blow by anyone at any point. But
Hmm.
as a point guard, what are you looking at to where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get a bucket, or I'm gonna, take my time, get somebody a shot, whatever.
That is a great question, girl, because I feel like that's the number one thing for a point guard, especially a scoring point guard. So I feel like for me, I'm just like really reading where the defense is. If I have a lot of action on one side and it's a clear side, I'm like, this might be the perfect time for me to reject something and, take that lane that's open. Or okay, I see Marina's getting top locked, or I see somebody's getting face guarded. I'll just be like, okay, nothing's open. I'm surveying the floor. Now this is my time to blow by somebody and make something work. So pretty much if like My wing player is denied. Usually that's when, okay, call for a screen for my post, and then I'm making something shake and getting into the lane. But I feel like that's just also knowing time and score, who's hot, who's not. It's just a lot of things that go into it, and it's so much like that you have to process within the game, which is so hard for point guards that I feel like I really underestimated. Really, like now, like knowing everything that I got to know now is just like the point guard position is a lot, but
Different.
I have no
Well, you
choice.
you're killing it. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Key. I appreciate that.
Oh, you do. And that's what I feel like makes you guys such a good team because one, like you and the other guards, you guys do such a good job of getting into the paint and then being able to kick it out to your shooters, Marina Mabrey,
Hmm.
like knocking them down. I feel like you guys do such a good job of going inside out. But to go circle back to the off season, obviously you played in Turkey and you're playing overseas, and it's really like a long season to find time to work on your game. And where do
Hmm.
you kind of find the time to develop your skills? And what do you feel like you try to focus on this off season?
I feel like for me, you have this time period after, as soon as the season is over, you get about 2 weeks, depending on the club that you're going to. But for me, I probably take about 5 days off, and then I try to get back in the gym and
5 days,
like,
that's it,
I
girl.
mean,
I'm
yep, you
taking
really
two
don't have
weeks.
much. Now that was last year, but like this year now, I'm probably gonna take way longer than that
Right.
because my body is
You're
time.
like, I need it.
Yeah, like I've been going nonstop for a minute now, so it's like, all right, girl, and I'm starting to feel it. But so I feel like I take those little like a week off or whatever, and then I just have that week before I go overseas, and I really just focus on like reps. I feel like it's not a lot of time to really just work on a lot of individual stuff, but I
Yeah.
feel like reps and because you got to be a shot maker, like you got to make your shot. So I feel like getting a lot of reps is important, and watching a lot of film as well, because I don't have a lot of downtime. I don't have a lot of time to just really take off. But when I do, when I'm just like relaxing at home, when I do get a little time, watching film is important. I can watch my old games and I can see where I could have been better at, and just seeing turnovers and stuff like that as a point guard. So I feel like that's kind of what I work on in the off season.
Dope.
Did you enjoy your experience in Turkey?
I love Turkey. This I'm going back again after this season. Like, it's a great spot for me. Like where it's located, it's a lot of Americans there. It's really dope. So I'll be back again.
That's what it seemed like. It seems like a good spot. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about off-court Dana.
Okay.
You're a Gary, Indiana kid playing for Chicago, a Jordan Brand athlete. What does that mean to you as, you grew up being a Chicago fan,
Hmm.
tying that all in together? What does that mean to you?
I grew up like always wearing Jordans. Like that's always been like my favorite shoe. I've always been a shoe head. So just having that behind me now and just representing, I mean, greatness. Michael Jordan is one of the GOATs. Well, he is the GOAT. I just feel like that's an accomplishment that I've always wanted. I remember when Maya Moore like signed to Jordan, and I was low key like hating a little bit because I was like, I wanted to be the first Jordan Brand athlete, but it was Maya Moore, so I was like,
You're
what
like,
can you
I'll let
say?
it.
But no, it's been everything, especially, and then like just playing in Chicago. I remember going to the games, watching Vandersloot play. Like I used to tell you all the time, Key, even like before the draft and everything, like how dope that would have been and how it actually just happened. But it's everything that I could have imagined. I feel like it's really just like a dream come true.
That's
And
awesome.
you played with Candace Parker and in that
Yes.
championship year. Do you have a Candace Parker story that you would be good to share, and just like what was it like playing with her?
Playing with her was so dope. She just knew the game like the back of her hand. Like she knew to play ahead, and she just was so knowledgeable with everything. Like she was a great leader. Like she held the locker room down. And then I feel like a story with Candace. I feel like I tell this a lot, but it was kind of like with the credit card because I was a rookie, my rookie year going in, and we was like having this discussion about like credit cards and stuff like that. I didn't own a credit card at this time, and she was
They
like,
don't teach you about this in school.
I mean, they don't. So I was just like, chilling. I'm like, no, I don't have a credit card. And she's like, no, you need a credit card and blah, blah, blah. So I went and got me she was like, you need an American Express. You need this. So I went and got one and I just started like really like diving deep in. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. Like I should have been had this. And I mean, she just teach you other stuff too outside of basketball. That's what's so dope about Candace. And just how she was on and off the court. And we still talk to this day. So she's dope.
That's
That's
dope.
dope.
Big mom vibes right there.
Right? I was like, okay, Mama Candace.
Obviously, as a basketball player, you go through a ton of ups and downs. There's so much adversity. What keeps you going? What is something that inspires you and has made you keep going through all the tough times?
I would say my parents and my family in general, but really my parents, because just knowing the sacrifices that they made for me and um just wanting to give back to them. I feel like I just owe them everything. They just been with me through my whole journey. Like they haven't missed anything. They come to almost every home game, professional. I mean, went to so many games in college. So just doing it for them and just making them proud and seeing how excited and happy they are when new things happen for me and just being there. I just love them so much. So I do it for them.
Is there like, a quote or a saying you kind of remind yourself? Like I know I'm a faithful and like spiritual person. Is there something you always remind yourself of when you're kind of going through those hard times or any adversity you face?
I would say Jeremiah 29:17. Just he knows the plans that he has for you. Just trust the process. Like I feel like my whole life has been a process. It's been a journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but you have to just keep going. Like you can't give up because he has something for you. He has something for everybody. So just trusting in him and putting your faith in him, I feel like has got me here and has got me so far. He's led me here. He won't leave me now. So that's just kind of what I live by.
Amen, girl. Amen.
Period.
Uh, okay, last fun question. So obviously, the league has been increasing popularity every single year,
Hmm.
and there's a ton more brand partnerships. Skims,
Hmm.
we saw that recently. Is there a dream partnership that Dana would want to do?
She's like, Skims, where you at?
I mean, Skims for sure. Like I feel like that's definitely one, but I've always been like a fan of Rihanna. Like I love her. I would love to be like doing like the Savage X Fenty, the Fenty Beauty, like anything just associated with Fenty Beauty would be everything for me.
Okay, Rihanna, you
You
heard
heard
that.
that,
Rihanna,
Rihanna?
where you at?
Get
Riri, come on.
over over
It's
here.
time.
I am
Awesome.
curious, one more question for you. Just growing up, I feel like
Mhm.
as a kid, when we all played basketball, you're dreaming of the highest possible level you can get to. Did you ever once imagine where you are now that you would attain this level of success? And I know me and Key were talking about this earlier. Like I love to manifest and like write things down. And
Mhm.
like, what was your thing growing up that you were like, I want to play in the W one day or whatever it is?
It's crazy that you say that because like everything that I'm doing now is what I wanted to do. Like I
That's amazing.
literally told my parents like I told I mean everybody that knew me knew that the WNBA was number one for me. Like I was like I'm going to make my way, I'm going to find a way. That and I also used to always say overseas as well because I always knew that we couldn't just live off the WNBA checks. Like we had to make a living overseas as well. So I always said I want to go to the WNBA and I want to play overseas as well. And also want to do stuff off the court too. Like I'm girly and I like to like get into the fashion and other stuff like that. And Jordan Brand as well. That was always something that I dreamed of too. So I feel like everything that I dreamed of, I'm doing. But I
That's
feel
amazing.
like we still got levels of we still not all the way there, but we get there.
Yeah, yeah. Talk that talk.
Yes.
Um, is there something if you weren't playing the W, do you see yourself? What would you be doing?
I mean, I feel like I would be doing like what y'all are doing, like analysts and like talking about
Yeah,
sports, interviewing people because I love the game. I love to hear other people's like stories. I love to see like how they came up and how, their success story that excites me. So I feel like I would still want to be around the game. I mean, I feel like I sometimes say coach too, but I don't know about that yet. I'm still
Dana,
iffy.
Dana, if you were a coach, you would cuss them girls out.
Yeah, that's that's what I say too. I'm like, I don't think I would have the patience for it because I just feel
You
like
know,
everything got to be perfect.
this day and age, they got social media.
I mean, they probably be recording me like, y'all, we gotta
I
get
get
this lady out
fired.
of here. Like, she crazy.
I get fired, respectfully.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that one. It would definitely have to be on a college level though. Like it will have to start at but we'll see.
We know, Dana, whatever you've set your mind to, you've achieved. And I
Thank
just
you.
want to say, as your friend, I'm just so proud of you. And it's awesome to see you, attack everything that you dreamed of and see your growth. And we're supporting
Oh,
you
so
since we're here.
cute. But I want
Right?
to know,
Thank
did y'all
you.
want to cuss each other out when you guys played together? We all got those moments with our
It's
teammates.
always like that. I feel like
I mean, I feel like
winning teams.
me and Dana definitely had some battles in open gym.
Yes.
I was on the scout team for a year, so I had to guard her for a year, which was not fun on my end. But no, Dana got me better. It was a lot of fun to be Dana's teammate.
It was good though. I feel like when you at a program like that too, I feel like you just compete, and then I feel like we also like we became friends as well off the court too, and that's dope. And I'm also excited for you too. Like, congrats on this new
Yeah,
journey for you. I feel like you're gonna be great in it. Like it
thank
fits
you.
you.
I agree. I think I'm really excited to watch you guys play. I'm actually calling your game on Saturday, Chicago
Okay.
versus Connecticut, but we do it from the Connecticut office, so
Okay.
you won't see me in the cut there, unfortunately. But no, I'm
Okay.
excited. You guys are just you're a fun player to watch, and I love seeing people who reap the benefits of all their work they put in. So yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank y'all for having me.
All
All
right,
right,
thank you so
Kate.
much, Dana.
Thank
All right,
you.
y'all. No problem. Bye.